Government can and must provide opportunity, not smother it. Foster productivity, not stifle it.
Well, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. America's best days are yet to come.
From Del Mar to Middletown, Bombay Hook to the Brandywine, Dover to Wilmington. This is the Caesar Rodney Institute Policy Podcast. Here is Caesar Rodney Institute Communications Director Sam Friedman with Larry Koch, retired educator, principal, and teacher, on the education reforms that are truly needed in this country. Here's Sam Friedman.
Larry, give us a little background on your education experience.
I started teaching in a one-room schoolhouse in 1967, and then it was at a kind of an orphanage situation. Then I went into public school, worked my way up to classroom, reading specialist, finally principal and assistant superintendent and special ed director, and I got my doctorate in education at the University of Maine. But in 2007, I experienced 239 inches of snow and decided to retire to Delaware.
In your entire experience as an educator, what differences have you observed between teaching in a public school versus elsewhere in terms of curriculum and the way things are done?
Well, most of my educational career was up in Maine, and I did my doctorate in effective leadership and what works in the classroom and what doesn't work in a classroom. And a lot of those types of things are being ignored today, I find. The effective school movement proved that what works is a good principal and a good teacher. I mean, you can have all types of specialists. That doesn't seem to make great differences. You can have great superintendents and central administrators. That doesn't get down to the classroom. But if you put in a quality principal, things change. If you encourage good, excellent teachers, things change. If you put in the world's bestest curriculum, there's hardly any difference.
So you believe that Delaware is not going down that road now, and I assume you're referring to the standardized testing, among other things.
Well, I don't oppose testing. I had to do a lot of it as a teacher in a special ed. I like authentic testing where a child is given an issue, let's say, and gifted and has to perform a certain task while being observed. I like testing that is criterion-based to see if a kid is learning or not. Look, Sam, when I moved down here and I was healthy enough, I did some substitute teaching. I went to Dover schools, and I was paired with another teacher, and the other teacher said, well, boys and girls, this is around middle school level. On the Civil War, all you got to remember is Lincoln, Grant, Davis, Lee. Now let's get ready for some other things on the test. I mean, my mouth almost fell open. That's what people should memorize for a test. That type of testing, I have a hard time with. There are parts of Common Core I like that emphasize phonics. There's parts I really don't like. These people who think it's a be-all and a cure-all, I am not one of them. I've spent my entire life in education. My doctorate was on how to get the best out of kids. I'm disappointed by things that have avoided that. One thing that I noticed When I was up in Maine, there was the superintendent and myself. And I went through 4 superintendents. I like being an assistant superintendent. Superintendent would come in, and I'd say, what do you like to do? And he said, high school. And I said, fine, I'll tell you elementary and middle school. He says, I like negotiations. I said, fine, I'll take curriculum. And we would go down and we would decide who would be the morning person for the morning buses. And this was a district of some size. Central offices in Delaware, and I believe probably around the country, and probably now in Maine, are overwhelmed with people who are busy work.
We saw the NAEP. I don't know if you saw the recent results for the National Assessment of Education Progress, where only 18% of tested 8th graders in America were considered proficient or better in U.S. history. What do you think Delaware could do to really improve our numbers?
Well, I think we have to take control of our curriculum. And I don't think, I'm not anti-Common Core. I think we need some of the good work that was done. But if they've finished history, it was the last thing on their agenda. And more than ever, the people and the students need to know where we come from, what unites us. The only thing that unites us in America is the ideals that we were founded. Really understand and love the American story.
All right, Larry, well, thank you so much for joining us. That was Larry Koch, a retired educator and a concerned resident who is looking at Delaware's education system. Visit the Caesar Rodney Institute's website for the latest columns, news stories, and events on issues affecting you at caesarrodney.org. You've been listening to our Impact Delaware podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for all the latest podcast episodes and updates. I'm Sam Friedman. Thank you for joining us, and have a great rest of your day.